You're listening to WRUU LP, Savannah, Georgia, 107.5 FM, community radio with a global soul. Also streaming online at savsoundings.org. That's SAVSOUNDINGS.org.
Check, check, 1, 2. Look like a little country. Some rock and roll and blues. 'Cause we sure love playing for good people like you. Let me know if you can hear me. Check, check, 1, 2.
Welcome to Music Local and Sustainable, the radio show that features discussions with and the music of local musicians. I am your host, Dave Lake. This evening, I'm with the Velvet Caravan at their rehearsal. I'll just let the band introduce themselves.
Hello, I'm Ricardo Ochoa. I play violin with the band.
My name is Jesse Muckman, and I play percussion with the band.
My name is Eric Dunn. I play bass.
I'm Sasha Strujas, play guitar.
I'm Jared Hall, piano.
And organ.
And keyboard things.
Accordion.
Yes.
Everything keyboard.
Yes.
How do you characterize the music of Velvet Caravan?
Eclectic.
Well, yeah, eclectic, fun,
Fusion.
Energetic.
virtuosistic. Is that a word?
It is now.
Virtuosic.
I'll chime in, psychotic.
Don't forget that. It's the most important spice.
I would agree, yeah.
What musician or what musical style has most inspired each of you?
Well, I believe that the foundation definitely comes from Django Reinhardt. And that's, of course, from Sasha, being the guitar extraordinaire from Serbia. And he's played gypsy jazz his entire life. So our basics is gypsy jazz. But, when we met, I knew very little about gypsy jazz. I listened to gypsy jazz, but I couldn't really play it. I was playing regular jazz and a lot of classical music. It was hard for me to get into it. He pushed me to play it really fast. But eventually, I brought my own thing, which is the classical thing, And then and a little bit of the Latin. That's Sasha likes the Latin. So I guess as core members at the very beginning session, I sort of fusion the Latin and the gypsy together, and then the guys like Jared showed up, right? And then you brought some keys to it, and then your influences.
Yeah, I came from I grew up in the Midwest in Iowa, and then eventually went to Austin, Texas, and eventually here in Savannah. But I was always influenced by boogie woogie, honky tonk. My grandma played boogie woogie, but one year in college, I went to France and Belgium, and we went to this restaurant, and there was this amazing gypsy group playing, and it changed my life. I left going, I wish I would have got their card. I wish I would have known what they were all about. But I never forgot the sound, and that sound and it was very Django Reinhardt. They would do very Django tunes, some of the traditionals that we play, but also they would play Beatles tunes in that style or whatever else. And I felt mesmerized by that experience, and then I moved here and forgot about it. It was 10 years. Came to see them at B. Matthews and said, hey, you mind if I sit in? And I was just taken away by it. And so I kind of started playing some of my stuff with them, and we figured out that things work together. Willie Nelson was a big Django Reinhardt fan, and that's why Willie plays the way he plays, because of Django. And their influences in that Texas country and French version of how they heard jazz and brought jazz back to the States.
I'll tell you what, our album has a track called Swing Gitan. Why don't you play that and let people listen to it? That's a good example for sort of that, what he's talking about, and the gypsy swing that we do.
Here is Swing Gitan from Velvet Caravan's Acoustic in Nature album.
I moved to Savannah 4 years ago, and I guess I'm one of the most fortunate people. I moved at the end of July and started gigging with Ricardo beginning of August, and it's been steady. We started first playing duos, and Ricardo learned stuff really quickly, and then these other guys started coming. First, Mr. Dunn over here.
Hello.
Eric.
Hi, Eric Dunn again from Savannah, Georgia.
See, the cool thing that Eric brought in is that he came from the tradition of rock and jam bands. He actually brought a fresh, new style of playing upright bass.
I didn't know how to play the bass at all.
Upright, yeah. No, he's come a long way, man. In less than 3 years.
Because rock and roll electric bass is different than upright.
Completely.
It's a whole different way to do
I didn't even
your
know how to do my fingers.
muscles and your arm.
But the amount of time that he's been able to do
He
that
has
is
really
pretty
good ear.
astounding. I mean, he's grown so much in such a short period of time that he's kind of an MD of. He would be the MD of a lot of musicians, actually, in the way that he's.
Really good ear.
The problem when you are playing with very good jazz bass players is that they're actually very narrow on their thinking of this music, and all you got to do with this music is swing really hard, and he's able to do that.
Which is the opposite of what you think with jazz. You think it'd be loose and loosey, but really trained jazz musicians tend to be even more strict than some classical music.
Yeah.
I think everybody in the band has also been really pernicious in their approach to all the different types of music that we do too. I see a lot of bands and they get sort of pigeonholed into a certain style. And what I like about everybody here is everyone is so willing to try something different. And I think that comes from the fact that we do come from such different musical backgrounds. Like Ricardo, actually classical, I'm classical. Mr. Iowa over here, who has done opera, and he's also done boogie woogie and swing. And we have these guys that are just...
They don't read music.
They don't read music. Right. But the thing is everyone's willing to try different things, and no matter what style, nobody's says anything that they're not willing to try, which makes us have the ability to branch out to many different styles, but give it our own flavor, which I think people really sort of latch onto, even with the covers. The covers, I mean, people are like, "Oh, I've never heard of that done that way before."
But talking about that, man, I remember when you brought in your composition, "Sweet Diablo."
Yeah.
That's something that is very classical opening, and then everybody was like, "Oh man, this Sash especially was like, can't wrap my head around this at the moment," but it turned out to be one of our favorite songs, and he has a great classical influence in the opening of it. But then he moves to that other style that we are exploring, which is kind of like a rumba Latin Spaniard feel to it that Sasha is really good at it.
Which is where he takes the reins there.
Right,
He really
exactly.
takes
So once Sasha got comfortable with the tune and made it his own, then it became a band tune. It's not like Jesse, I have a tune, you have to do it like this. He really brought the idea, and everybody brought in their idea into it.
And it came out better than I couldn't have envisioned it that it was going to sound that way. I have certain ideas in my head, like when I write music, especially for marimba, and when I hear these guys interpret it and go different places, I'm like, I can't do that. Bringing ideas to, I think we all probably feel the same way, but bringing ideas to rehearsals allows input that we could never have done on our own, and we end up making a product that's so much better than we are by ourselves, I think.
So let's listen to Sweet Diablo, also from the Acoustic in Nature album. Well, you're a combination of trained musicians and then musicians who sort of have developed on their own
On
and
the streets.
on the streets.
Eric Dunn.
They're definitely trained.
Playing on
They're,
the streets of town.
They're not homeless.
they're,
not
yeah,
homeless,
they're
but
definitely
trained on the
trained.
street.
Yeah.
They have gone through some personal training that I envy. You know, it's things that I couldn't imagine done it without by myself. You know, and they've done it. You know, and it's amazing.
I must chime in one kind of sort of related or unrelated thing. We love playing music together. We hang out together all the time. We're really good friends. We just like hang out. I send Ricardo some like musical ideas, and he goes back. You know, don't send.
Just the same way we like each other, we hate each other too. So we have that.
It's a
relationship.
family.
It's a family.
Yeah. I think everybody who ever listens to this can probably relate to that. It is a family.
Well, Jesse earlier mentioned how people react in a very positive way to how you style covers that you do. How do you select the covers that you choose to play?
They usually come out as a joke. You know, it usually comes out of the end of a song, and we do a tag on a song. And man, you know, we cover "I Will Survive" now. We like doing it because we always see the audience big smile as soon as we start playing that. They would never expect for us to do that.
The ladies.
Yeah, they love it.
They
You know,
wake
because
up.
it's like this. I hate men too.
Yeah.
But anyway, so that came out one day. I remember we were playing at the restaurant at B. Matthews one day, and we started quoting the song within another song. And every song we played, doesn't matter what key they quote, the song would come. And then whatever song
Yeah,
we
I
were
forgot about
playing,
that.
Yeah, the whole gig.
Yeah.
he became that song. So we would start a song and it would turn into "I Will Survive" in the key of F sharp. I don't care. So that was, I mean, I couldn't stop laughing. None of us could. And it just, I guess we got to do that song now.
And
So
Smoke
think-
on the Water was it like?
Yeah, we don't
Yeah,
completely
we still
cover that,
play
but that we
It's
we
just an ending.
it's
like
just the end. Yeah, we
Dave knows. He's seen us do it a few times.
Well, and I used to do, I'm embarrassed to say, but I had fun doing it, but I used to do dueling pianos. And I used to have to play all those covers. So when I started playing with these guys, I would start like putting in like Ozzy Osbourne tunes and occasional like Elton John or this or that. We try to end a song with this or that. Didn't want to do it too much, too many quotes. But we even did like some AC/DC songs, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a long
we
time
have.
ago.
I like to do it again.
We could, yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, as to like how we actually come up with it, I think it's like, I can't believe I'm going to use this term, organic. No, but the cool thing is also like talking about the eclectic backgrounds is that we also have very different music libraries, internal music libraries, and so there's this ability to draw on that, and everything would, I mean, just random ideas will get shot out and we're like, yeah, let's try it. It's not like I was talking before that we're sort of pigeonholed into a style, and I think that's why we're so we diversify so much in terms of our genres, because we all have that different music library that we draw from, you know.
Well, and I'm honestly, Jesse, I'm amazed. This year, we had a meeting about all of the gigs we have coming up, and we have to make sure that we're available and we can take work off, and we can make sure that we can travel. But we have the most varied tour schedule this year, because in one moment we're playing with a symphony orchestra, and then the next week we're playing for one of the most major pop music festivals in Texas, and then
Which is called?
South by Southwest 2016, which is a huge, I mean, it's an honor. I mean, 2,000 bands get accepted out of 20,000 or whatever that try, and it's mostly rock and roll and punk, but there is a world and jazz category, but then immediately we're in the world of jazz again.
And then we're doing master classes at a university.
And the
you
kids
know?
show.
Yeah. And so it's like, we just have our hands into a lot of different things, and our ability to like go into all those different worlds is just it's just awesome to be with a bunch of guys that can do that.
And appliance stores.
And appliance stores.
Yeah, but not only that, but we can also play bluegrass festivals. We can
Refrigerator section.
we can play
with a sweater.
We can play bluegrass festivals. We can play jazz festivals. We can play like whatever. Really, it's like our band kind of fits in kind of everywhere. Classical music festival. We play those too.
And then Lucas, we did the show at the Packway Handle Band,
Yeah.
and that was really fun. And it was like gypsy meets bluegrass.
But they're not straight up bluegrass anymore, but we just fit into different areas fine.
All of those different venues that you perform in, I mean, how do you really get excited about playing in an appliance store like the day after you play in one of the best
Completely
theaters in
different.
town?
It's completely different. You don't want to do the same thing all the time. You got to switch it up. And
we
also,
want honest,
also,
or we want non-honest.
also, Ricardo wasn't at that gig, so we were really excited about that. I'm just kidding. No, it was just dude.
No, and I was fine until I pulled up and it was raining, so we had to play inside around all the kitchen area, like the demo kitchen area.
So this is true.
It
The band played at an appliance store.
Yeah,
We were
we did.
supposed
Yeah, it's
to
my
play
brother's.
outside with an oyster roast and all these tables, but it started pouring rain.
It would have been so
And I pull
swanky,
up.
but then we had to go inside.
And I'm sitting pulling up next to this dishwasher with my keyboard, and I'm like, oh my god. So what made it happen was that I saw the silver lining. I saw beer. I saw the ice cold beer. The ice was like shining.
Yeah. And it was good beer too.
Right
It
next
was-
to refrigerator, there's a lot of ice.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so why the ice? We don't know. But
And it's just fun doing something different. That's what I think.
no, it was fun. We
Completely
made the
different.
best
You don't
of it.
have to have a set list for it or anything. You just play and make it
We're not one of
fun.
those bands that like we like to like do the same set every single time because everyone's super amazing, and people would get bored if we did the same set all the time, and the energy would fall off. And I think
And nobody would come see us.
and no one, yeah, exactly.
Right.
So I think doing all these different things, appliance store. Jared, he's a Hammond artist, and he pulled out like the '50s organ. And when you're in an appliance store, I mean, there's nothing you can think of, but like I don't know, just automatically
Elevator
think about,
music,
like,
you know?
Yeah.
I
And
went
all of a sudden,
all the way.
We're having like this.
Like Jared says, sometimes in some of these circumstances, a good beer helps. You know, so get through it. Which is actually another point that we also drink very well together. And you know, we're not saying we're alcoholics, but we have a song called Dipsomania, and that's another one that should. It should be great if your
For other
audience is-
people, who
Who
do that.
partake.
And here's Dipsomaniac, also from the Acoustic in Nature album.